Hello, Gino. I wanted to talk to you about how I go about taking pictures you commented that most of my pictures look like I've taken them with a DSLR. That's a great compliment. I have a procedure that I use almost exclusively, and I use it so that I don't have to carry around a tripod, but I can still get good sharp photos. And I will tell you that one of the things that I do, and I'll show you here in just a minute. Well, I guess I'll show it to you now. I how I go about taking photos. So if you're going to see part of my leg here, what I actually do is, oh, how did this happen? My HDR is off. Do you see the HDR with a slash through it up at the top? That should not be off. Oh, I did that to show you something. Oh dear. I wonder how many pictures I took with the HDR off. Oh, okay, the HDR. And then that little yellow circle within a circle, that is for the live photos. If I touch that, it's off. But I pretty much shoot everything with HDR on and the live on. Now, HDR only works, it does not work with burst shots, and it does not work with squares. And it doesn't work with videos. It only works in photos, portraits, and and it doesn't work panorama either, don't believe. So even if I take a square shot, it doesn't, I'm going to get off of that so you could see my hand. If I take a square shot, it's still not going to do the HDR, but I'm going to show you some things where hopefully you can see where the HDR has taken over on going on the outs when you're taking some pictures on the outside. What happened was I used to forget to put the HDR on when I went outside. So now I just leave it on all the time because it really doesn't hurt anything on inside pictures. It just doesn't, it doesn't see any measurable difference between if you read about how HDR works. It really doesn't see any difference, so it doesn't actually incorporate the HDR shot if it's not needed. But if it's needed, it does it. And, but what I want to tell you that I do is almost every shot that I take, you're not going to really see it on this particular example because I've already taken care of the burst shot. But almost everything that I take a shot of, I do use the focus. I use focus and lock exposure. Sometimes I adjust the exposure, but once I get it the way that I like it, I press the shutter once and get a live shot. And then I press and hold the shutter for a second and I get a burst shot. The reason for this is when I go off of this, when you come back to this live shot, I want you to notice that the flowers are actually moving. And that's not me. It's not my hand moving. There's almost always a slight breeze here in Wisconsin. And so a lot of times, you see that, how it moved? Go back and show you. Well, actually, all you have to do is, you're supposed to be able to just press this thing, yes. If you just touch the picture, you'll see it move. That was the breeze moving that flower. And you'll see that this one bigger flower is in focus and the others aren't because that's where I had the focus set. Now, what I would have also done is as soon as I took that, I just tapped that shutter to get the live shot, then I would have held the shutter down for just a second. You'll hear it. You'll hear it you'll know when it's taking a burst shot. You don't want to take a really long one. But then this is the result of a burst shot. I'll show you later in this, I'll show you what I'm actually doing with the burst shot. But what it does is it takes the sharpest image of whatever it was you had focused. And so this probably had 3 or 4 photos, and I picked this one just to show you how, even if I have a steady hand, that the flower can be moving. So I also want to show you what else you can do with a live photo. I was using live photos for a long time. Anyway, I don't need a tripod because I can get this anyway. I mean, just with this burst shot, it guarantees me that I'm going to get, well, not guarantees, but if a sharp photo can be taken with the right lighting, then it will take one and it will give you the sharpest one. I know this sounds confusing, but it will make sense as I progress on to the next thing. We said we were going to talk about the cat. So I'm going to go down to where I took the picture of the cat and the dog. Okay. Here's an example. If you look at this one right here with the dog and the cat, it's about, I'll put it down in the lower right-hand corner. Do you see how it looks like there's a bunch of stacks there? That is actually that is a burst shot. So when I tap on that, you will see this select down at the bottom. Now, as it turns out, I've already selected one, and I'll show you which one it was. But if I go select, it will tell me which one was the sharper picture. Turns out I had already selected it, but the sharp picture is the one with the gray dot underneath it. The little triangle up above the little arrow is showing you which one of those shots you're looking at. So it was actually that was actually from 4 shots. That one, which I had already selected, and I believe I showed you that one. That one I had already selected. Then I decided that maybe, I came back later, and I decided that maybe I should take this one. Not sure if I'm going to use it. I just thought it was kind of neat. Not like I said, I'm not sure that I'm going to use it. But up at the top, you see done, and you tap done, and it has saved only those 2 shots. It still says select on this one just because that's a kind of a, yeah, I recovered it. It's going to keep all 4 of those. Let me do another one so you can see what happens. Okay, see that live shot? Now, if it looks crooked, it's because I was in such a hurry to get this cat, because this cat was being really, I had my left hand full, my right hand, I had to do it one-handed, so this is normally not the kind of shot that I would take. But all I wanted was the cat, because I might use the cat in something, and it turns out I would probably just get rid of this shot anyway. But if you look, you can see that that's something I should tell you about the live shot. You may not realize this, but if you do a live shot, it is already recording before you hit the shutter. So sometimes my things move before I'm moving the camera a while before I hit the shutter, and I forget that it actually is already recording that. I don't really know why. Again, what I would do with this is I just wanted the cat, and I would be masking everything out, so I can always rotate it and get it where it's just the cat. So I wasn't really concerned about that. Now that was actually the result of a burst shot. Let me get to a burst shot here. I must have done a whole bunch of them already. Okay, here's some. Okay, now I probably wouldn't even keep this photo, but here's the live photo. And this one, I probably would just get rid of this one because I don't really see anything. Before I decide to get rid of it, though, Emil just says not to get rid of anything, but I have so many photos I kind of zoom in and see if there's anything interesting that I could get out of this picture. And I don't even know why I took this picture. I just get snap happy and shutter happy, and I just take a lot of pictures. So this one I'm just going to trash. It says delete 2 photos because there were 2 there. Same thing with this photo. I think if I look, I'm not going to get it. Sometimes I'm snapping, especially with animals, because you never know when they're going to cooperate and when they aren't. Again, this is another, going to delete that one, delete that one. I was hoping they would move or do something, but here, let me show you. Just see this select. It says burst 3 photos. If I were going to take someone, I would get one. It always comes into the one that's the most in focus, and you can hit and to accept it. I'm not really going to do that. I'm just going to get rid of it. If I did it, I'd hit done, and then it would say keep 1 photo or keep all the photos. Give me that option. So, but as it turns out, I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to trash this one because I don't really care for it. Did you see how this one moved? That was from me. It was moving the camera still before I took hit the shutter on the live. It just does that. Now, this one, I think what I was looking for was, look at this cow. I'm zooming in. You see how the cow's looking at me? That was what interested me in that. So I think one of the things that you'll find out is these pictures are so sharp. You can crop in and still get some very sharp pictures, especially if it's really bright daylight like this one was, because the shutter speed is really fast. So I think that I'm going to not get rid of this one. That's a live shot. And this was a burst shot, and I decided to keep this one because I've already done some of this beforehand. There's a live shot. Can't really decide, but again, see, the cow's really looking at me, and you can really see that. So I'd have to go through and I'd have to decide the live shot. Here's a burst shot. I would take this one for right now and then decide later whether I really wanted to keep it or not. I would check it out. Here's another live shot. Now by this time I'm not moving the camera anymore, so you notice it didn't move beforehand. I can make it move. You can see how the cow did move. There, I must have taken that one before. If you don't see the word live up at the top, I can tell you from the way I take pictures, if you don't see the live up at the top, it was a shot that I selected from a burst shot. Pretty much always the same. Okay, here's one I haven't looked at yet. I'm probably not going to keep this, but if you hit select, it would do this. And it would keep, I'm going to go ahead and select it for right now. I know I'm not going to keep it, but I just want to show you how it works. Now, I could zoom in and see, oh, he looks kind of cute. I might get something out of that, so maybe I won't toss it yet. Looks like he's eating at a dead carcass, which is kind of gross. But I'm not going to put a heart on it because that's the other thing. If I know that I'm going to edit it, I usually put a heart down here, and that lets me know that I'm probably going to edit it. Here he is, burst. This time I got 7 photos because he was moving around so much. Now here you can see they have a couple that are good. And I'm just going to keep all the ones, whoops, sometimes you hit them and they select when you really don't want them to. I'm going to select those just because it says keep only 3 favorites, so I keep those 3. I hope that I'm making sense about how I go about doing this. Now I really like this one. This is one that I know that I'm going to keep. It's a live shot. And there was the burst. Okay, here's the burst photo. Didn't move much. But if I take it, I don't have a tripod, doesn't matter, because it's going to take the sharpest one of those. And you see what I'm doing? I'm going to put a heart on that one because I know I'm going to edit that one. Let me go back to the cat and dog because I want to show you what I wanted to do with the cat and dog. And one thing I don't like about, this is the live shot. I wanted to show you about the live shot. See how much it captures? I mean, I was trying to get a picture of the cat and the dog came up. And I thought, well, that's kind of cute. I'll do something with that. So here you see. Now, let me show you what you can do. This is in the native camera app. You can do edit. And when you edit, if you look down here, right now it's got the auto. I could just go ahead and use their auto correction thing, which I'm not going to do right now. I just wanted to show you that's how you can do it. That's like an automatic tuning. I don't do too much in here unless I do it on eBay when I'm getting ready to sell something on eBay that's not expensive and I don't want to spend a lot of time. I'll use the native camera app, the edit in the native camera app. But what I do want to show you is if you touch this circle that shows for the live, it's right just to the right of the word cancel. If you touch that, I want you to see what can happen as you move this around. Now, what I decided now, this was the photo. That wasn't the photo. They have a dot here. This dot was when I first brought this up. This was what they had as the key photo. Now, what I did before is I went and I did this. I liked them nose to nose. That was what I was trying to do. Okay, I'm going to do it. You see that revert? I'll let you see what I actually saw when I did it, okay? That is what they picked for the sharpest image. It wasn't what I wanted to see if I could get a better shot. And so, although they do look pretty nose to nose, I don't see enough of the dog. So I'm going to go into edit. Touch edit, and I go into the little circle for the live. And what I did was I moved it around until I could see. That was the shot that I wanted because I saw them pretty much nose to nose. Let me see if I can get an even better one. Let's see which one. See if I can get a cool expression on the dog's face, which I do. I'm looking here. I'm trying to decide what I want to do here, which one I want to make a key photo. pretty much nose to nose, and then I press make key photo, and now that will be the key photo instead of the one that they had picked. I'm still kind of fiddling around with this. I want to see if oh no, I wanted that one. That was the one I wanted key photo. Okay. Now, you'll notice that it actually crops in a little bit, but I'm going to say done, and when it comes back up, that's the one that will show. Now, it bothers me that some of their feet are cut out, but that's not going to be a problem because what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop this, and basically, I'm probably going to make a square out of this. I'm basically going to get the nose to nose between the cat and the dog because I think that's going to be cool. I wish I had a nicer background besides that. And I might could fix that later on and superimpose, but we're not going to talk about that yet because that's a whole nother ball game. So I'm going to go back out of it. Now, here is what I think I'm going to, well, I don't know. I'm getting to be kind of a long lesson, but I wanted to talk about what I wish I had done from the very beginning with my photos. I wish I would have done this because I've lost some originals. This is what I am now going to do from here on out. What I would do is I would, you're here, and it's just easy to go up to copy photo, and then go into Snapseed, and open, paste image, and then you have that. Now here's what I recommend doing at this stage of the game. Just do export before you do anything to save to get keep your original. Is export, save a copy. Haven't done any changing, nothing. I'm just exporting and saving a copy. Now, then when I open the latest image, what it will get, it will work now on the copy that I just made. So this is actually the copy that I made. What this will allow me to do is then I can modify the original or whatever and do what I want and still have the original. And later I'm going to show you what I would do. I would go back and I would start in a file of originals. That's of an album of just the originals of the things that I have edited. That's something that I would do from now on, and I recommend that you do the same. And then that's just an easy way to get to it. Now, all right. Now I talked about what I was going to do with this shot. This is the thing about cropping. What is it that you're trying? What do you want to say with your photo? Somebody once told me, it helped me a lot, is your photo should be like a one word or 2 or 3 words that describe your photo of what your photo is trying to say. And mine here is, I guess the thing that I'm trying to say is a meeting of the minds or confrontation. It could be looked at several different ways, could be interpreted. But the basic thing that I want, and the reason I picked this nose to nose, is I wanted that's going to be the focal point of my shot here, is this nose to nose between the cat and the dog. It's their posture. Look at the cat pulled back. That says a lot about the cat, how it's perceiving the dog. And then the dog, I'm going to show you another picture that is just really cool. I'm going to call it something else. But so what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to go into tools and I'm going to crop this thing. And I think sometimes you just have to crop at what you've been given. I don't like distractions of having any feet cut off or anything like that. So I think the best thing for me to do on this one is I think a square is going to work best for what I'm trying to achieve here. And I'm kind of trying to make it where you can't always get what you want. But it would be nice if I could get this nose-to-nose thing right along that bottom line. The dog's partly in, the cat's partly in where the crosshairs are. Dog kind of is too. I think, let me just see what that looks like. I still don't like it. It's too much grass up at the top left. So I think I'm going to go in and I'm going to view edits and go back and redo that crop. I don't like it. So I'm really fussy about my crops if you haven't been able to tell. Problem is when you do that, you know, you get, maybe I should do a 4x3 doing it vertical. Maybe I'll get a better shot. Got some of the cat's leg cut off, which I don't like. And I do like, let's see, what are you thinking of that? What do you think of that? Is that better? Let's see, Doc got the dog's eye right in the crosshairs. Got the nose. Don't want to cut the dog's ear off. Or, if I do cut the dog's ear off, I need to, here's another thought. Let's do this. Now, I know that this is really cropping in quite a bit, but if I'm going to cut the dog's ear off, then I need to cut all of the dog's ear off. Does that make sense? That then I don't want the dog's ear in it at all. And that's just my own personal preference. Now I've got the dog's eye. It's really hard. Cropping is really hard. And by the way, if you think we're losing a lot of pixels, there's a way to fix that, which I'll talk about another time with Big Photo. I've done this a lot, and it really hasn't. I could send you some pictures, and I don't think it's really affected anything. Let's see. Let's see what that looks like. What do you think? Is that good? Maybe. Now, if you're not sure about which way to crop it, here's a thought. Here's something you can do. You can export and you can save a copy, because that's one crop that you're maybe, I don't like the grass and things showing, but I can deal with that. Of course, I've had a lot of experience knowing what I can get rid of and what I can't. So that was one thought, is if I've got a crop that maybe I like, I can do that. I kind of like that crop. But let me see if I can improve it. Let's go back to square again and see if I can do something with this square. I did say on squares you can have things to be right in the center. It doesn't really matter too much. Let's see. I don't like the grass in the lower right, but like I said, I can get rid of that. I'm kind of cutting off part of the cat's paw. I'm looking at all sorts of different things. You can tell just by listening to me. Now, this is the first time I've done this. I probably should have done this. It would have taken less time. I would have done this before I started this video. I like that one too. Really wish I could get rid of that. I may have to get rid of that grass. So again, there's another possibility that I could just go ahead and export that, save a copy, because that's one possible way to do it. Actually, let me show you something else about how to go about doing the same edit on the same picture. Ways to do that. And let's go back. Let's try let's try a different crop. Something completely different. Why don't we just got the cat's feet out. I don't want this distraction of cutting things off. That's doable. Let's see. Well, that's a possibility too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and export that too. And that one, the dog looks more prominent. Do you see what I'm talking about? That makes the dog look more prominent. Okay. So right now I'm just going to, actually I didn't even need to make that copy because I'm probably going to go from here. Oh, maybe I'll try one more and go from there. Let's see. Oops, what am I doing? Oops, I got to go up here to view edits. Now you get to see how I really do things. Kind of ridiculous, aren't I? Let's see about, that's the original. You can always do free. That might be the best option yet. I can get exactly what I want. Only thing with that dog's ears, it makes the dog so prominent if I get that much of the dog in there. Let me just do a free edit here, a free, that really can make this the focal point. I've almost got a square here, not quite, but I've almost got a square like that. Get a little bit more of the dog's head in. A bit more of the cat. Let's see how that looks. Ah, yes, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Aha, now I did that with free. I couldn't get it any other way except through the free. Do you see how much of a difference that crop makes? Okay. Now at this point, I'm going to go back to tools. I'm going to do tonal contrast, my big favorite. I don't want the grass and all that stuff to stand out, so I'm going to get rid of that. I don't want tonal contrast to bring those out, so I'm gonna go do selective edit and only do it on the animals, cat and the dog. And again, I'll put the dye on there. Don't think I need to worry too much about the cat's ear because, again, I told you it kind of lightens things up. Just kind of want to get a little bit of the texture of their fur and stuff. Oops, I meant that to be 0. I'm going to get rid of all of this extra. Oops, if you tap that a couple of times, it zooms in. Didn't really want to do that. So going like this. Keep tapping it so lightly it does it. Okay, I'm going to take that. Now, you notice the cat really has kind of a halo on it anyway because of the lighting. I know that I'm eventually probably going to put this against a black background, and I'll have to do that and superimpose. So right now I'm just trying to get that. I'm not going to pay much attention to anything except the dog and the cat. Actually, in my black background might not be too great. Might have to use a gray background or total different color because the dog's black nose will blend in. So, but I'm not going to, so at this point, I know I'm going to be doing something with this, so I'm not really worried about what's around them, that concrete and stuff. Sometimes you just have to take what you're given. Oh, that's something I should tell you. I have all these cool all these pictures of things that I've used that I could maybe use as backgrounds. I'm not going to go into all that. So right now I'm just looking at the dog and the cat. What I want to do with them. Let's see. I think I'll go to curves, my other favorite. No, I'm going to do details too. Oh, look what a difference that makes. Ooh, I was already using this on another, so it came back to what I had, but doesn't that look sharp? Oh yeah. I like that N1. I mean, I can go through all of them, but I think I'm going to go with that for right now. I can always change it later if I don't like it. Don't want that. Don't want that. That. Okay, I'm going to do N1. N01. Going to check that. Then I might come back in again and use curves again to add soft contrast. Yeah, I like that. You see what I did? I did the soft contrast on that. The cat's a little bit too much brightness on the cat's chest and ear. I'm kind of losing that. So maybe I'm just going to bring, by moving that there, I'm basically just bringing out the darker parts. This should make the cat's fur darker. Yep, see it does. It makes the cat's fur darker. Don't necessarily need to do that, but Okay. Then I think I will do details. Get as much detail on these little critters as I can. Add a little bit of structure. Notice it's bringing out the texture of their fur, which I don't know if that's necessarily what I want to do or not, but I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to pull the structure down to about 10. That just adds a little bit, but not a lot. Again, I'm probably going to be deleting some. Well, let's just do the selective edit on the cat and the dog. Okay, I come back in with the 0 and get rid of it, the extra stuff. Okay, got a little bit on his nose. I'm really pretty fussy. Now let's just go ahead and let's just see what healing would do. Let's see if we can just get a gray background there. What I'd like to do is, actually, we could probably put this into touch retouch. Then I'm just going to see what happens with healing with these lines. Oh, they're going away pretty quick. I know we're going to have trouble around their mouths, though. Yeah. See, let's see what happens here. This isn't going to work. Some of it works. I can show you we'll do with that. See, I can spend a long time on just one photo. Right now, I think I'm just going to export that, and I'm going to actually save and modify this one. Okay. I'm probably going to use this crop. This is probably my favorite one. And I can show you some of the other stuff. I'm just gonna keep this one for right now. Now I'm gonna go out and just show you what I would probably do here. I'm gonna go back into photos. I've been away from it for so long, it's not doing anything. But I'm gonna take this. I have to go back to find the original. I take lots of pictures. That's the other thing I should tell you. I just take a load of pictures. I do get rid of them. I do go through them and get rid of them. But it gives me options. That's the reason I have so many. You'll see I have duplicates of tons of things. Okay, so where was the original? I believe this is the original. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that. And I'm going to add it. Oops. I'm going to add it to an album. Haven't started my originals, but I'm going to go originals. Save. And there's my first original. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put a favorite on it anyway. Because, well, I probably know. Can always take that off later. Okay. I didn't put any vignette or anything on that picture that I just edited because I know that I'm going to be doing some things with the background to fix that. And that's a lot more advanced. We're not ready to start that. But I can tell you this. If you look at this, I'm sorry, I keep going back and forth from Snapseed. Now, what I'm going to show you is if you go up here and you hit the little view edit thing, you view the edits, you get this thing that comes up here, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I am going to copy those instructions. And then I'm going to go out, and then I'm going to open up some of the images. Now, this is the one I've already fixed up, but here are some of the other ones. Oh, that should have been, open, oops. Oh, shoot. Open. Open from device. It should be my most recent ones, these copies. Okay, you see these copies? Now, what I'm going to do is, you can see that this one down here, the last one,